A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good. This is the cold reality of the world we live in. We are told fairy tales about justice and fairness, but history is not written by the good, it is written by the victors. 500 years ago, a man named Niccolò Machiavelli wrote the most dangerous book in history. He did not write about how the world should be. He wrote about how the world actually is. He taught that to survive among wolves, you cannot be an innocent sheep. You must become something else entirely. Most people are afraid of power. They think it is evil, but power is neutral. It is a tool, and if you do not hold the handle of the sword, you will inevitably face the blade. Today, we decode the dark wisdom of the prince. We explore 7 rules of power that will teach you when to be the fox and when to be the lion. Welcome to Aurelius Minds. Rule number 1, the lion and the fox. There are 2 ways of fighting, by law and by force. The first is the way of men, the second is the way of beasts. But often the first is not enough. Therefore, a wise leader must know how to use the beast within him. Machiavelli famously said, "One must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves." If you are only a lion, relying on brute strength and aggression, you will eventually fall into a trap you did not see. You will be outsmarted by those who are weaker but more cunning. But if you are only a fox, relying on tricks and diplomacy, you will be devoured by the wolves who respect only violence. You must master both. Be cunning enough to spot the lies and strong enough to crush the threat. Balance your intellect with your capacity for aggression. Rule number 2. It is better to be feared than loved. This is the most controversial rule, yet the most practical. Ideally, a leader would want to be both loved and feared, but since these 2 rarely come together, it is much safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is held by a chain of obligation. Men are selfish. They will break that chain of love the moment it serves their own interest. Love is fickle, but fear? Fear is held by the dread of punishment, which never fails you. However, Machiavelli warns, avoid being hated. You can be feared without being hated. Fear brings respect. Hatred brings rebellion. Keep your hands off your subjects' property and their families, and they will respect your authority. In a world of chaos, people do not look for a nice friend. They look for a strong protector. Be that protector. Rule number 3. Crush your enemy completely. If you must strike, strike in a way that allows no retaliation. Men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, but they cannot avenge themselves of more serious ones. This sounds cruel, but it is the logic of survival. If you leave an enemy wounded, or if you leave a problem half-solved, it will grow back. A wounded enemy harbors resentment. They will recover, they will plot, and they will come back for revenge with greater fury. If you defeat a competitor or remove a toxic person from your life, cut the tie completely. Do not leave a door open. Do not offer a second chance to a snake that has already bitten you. The injury you do to a man should be such that you do not fear his revenge. Rule number 4. The end justifies the means. The world judges you by your results, not your intentions. If a leader saves the state, keeps the peace, and ensures prosperity, no one will care about the methods he used to achieve it. In the eyes of the masses, success covers a multitude of sins. If you win, you are a genius. If you lose, you are a fool. This does not mean you should be evil for the sake of evil. It means you must be pragmatic. Sometimes, to do the greatest good, you have to make difficult, ugly choices. You cannot always keep your hands clean if you want to build something that lasts. Focus on the outcome. Let your success be your justification. Rule number 5. Appear virtuous, but be flexible. A leader must seem to be religious, honest, humane, and trustworthy. Appearance is everything. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. However, Machiavelli teaches that while you should appear to have all these virtues, you must be ready to abandon them if the situation demands it. If you are honest to a fault, you will be deceived. If you are always kind, you will be taken advantage of. Have a mind ready to turn itself accordingly as the winds of fortune and the variations of things command. Wear the mask that the situation requires. In the game of power, deception is not a sin, it is a strategy. Rule number 6. Master the art of timing. Machiavelli speaks of fortuna, luck, or fortune. He compares fortune to a violent river. When it floods, it destroys everything in its path. But when the weather is calm, men can build dams and dikes to control the water. You cannot control luck, but you can control your preparation. The man who relies entirely on fortune is ruined when fortune changes. The powerful man adapts. Do not be rigid. If the times demand caution, be cautious. If the times demand action, be bold. The ruin of most men comes because they cannot change their nature to match the times. Observe the world. When the window of opportunity opens, do not hesitate. Strike while the iron is hot. Rule number 7. Rely only on your own arms. Nothing is more weak or unstable than a reputation for power that is not based on one's own strength. Machiavelli warns against using mercenaries or relying on the power of others to fight your battles. If you rely on someone else's power to succeed, you are their slave. If they lose, you are defeated. If they win, you are their prisoner. Build your own skills. Build your own resources. Build your own mind. True confidence comes from knowing that you can survive even if everyone else abandons you. Do not borrow strength. Cultivate it. Be the architect of your own fortress. The world of Machiavelli is not for the faint-hearted. It is a world where the lion's claw and the fox's wit are necessary tools for survival. You do not have to be evil, but you must be awake. In a world full of wolves, innocence is not a virtue, it is a liability. Learn the rules of the game so that you are never played by them. Become the lion, become the fox, and never let them see you coming. If you are ready to seize your power, subscribe to Aurelius Minds. The world belongs to the strong. Stay sharp.